Is it recording?
Yep. What's up, guys? Welcome to Tidy Rap. This is our second time recording this.
Take two.
Well, we only lost like
Today
15
we're
minutes.
gonna discuss Tidy Rap in the case of the blue screen.
Yep.
Who done it? Find out at the end
Who
of
would
this
have thought
episode.
my computer that does everything is finally dying for the 300th time? It's okay. At
Could
least it
possibly
was.
be the 7 apps running.
No, I only have one. This is technically just.
Can't be the
Files.
7 tabs. Oh,
If 7 tabs kills a computer, then everyone has issues.
True.
it kills your RAM, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I've seen VTubers have 100 fucking tabs open while running their thing and recording and Twitch
It's also a
streaming.
PC though.
YouTubers are something
Okay.
else.
My gear's just as good as a
It
fucking
is.
laptop.
It's more about cooling.
Nah, it's fine. It's not too hot.
Have you tried to put it underwater while we record?
Ice bath, I heard, is a
Ice
pretty good idea. But today we're talking about who murdered my PC.
Yep.
OBS.
There's 3 of us here.
Who done it?
Who done it?
I think it was your dog.
Find out next
You
episode.
shitty ass dog. I saw him chewing on the cable.
But yes, speaking of mysteries, we're talking about Death in the Nile
Oh, are we?
Again.
because we just so happen to be able to watch it through very illegal means.
Yeah, we saw it on
Yeah, it just came out,
Amazon.
it just came out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, we saw it on Amazon. Like, we streamed it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Shout out to Amazon and their streaming service.
Who done it?
Who done it?
But, talking about this movie, it was pretty good. I don't even know where to start. Where did we start last time?
I don't fucking know, dude. That's the glorious thing of having to do this over again after talking for like 20 minutes. Because just like I said, it's out in the ether, man. It's gone.
gone.
It's been murdered like in this fucking movie.
Like one of these
Spoilers.
characters.
Like one of these characters.
Dude, I thought this whole time a certain character was gonna die, and it wasn't that character. I was like, bro, I feel like the commercial lied to me.
There was a certain character. I'll say who I thought would have died first. I thought it would have been.
You're gonna spoil it for our viewers?
I'm just telling you one person.
Okay.
That what I thought would have been the first murder.
Okay.
Was this the fucking detective?
No. Yeah, the detective. Who would have guessed? No, I would have guessed the red-haired or the red-dressed one. I don't
yeah.
remember her
Dude,
name.
I
Because that would have been the super red herring if that was the case.
he was gonna die.
He was the other red herring.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Yeah.
I would have been like, damn, that's like, that's real confusing if those two died.
You're
right
just
away.
like, well, fuck, everything goes right out the window. But yes, so Death on the Nile. I remember now where we started.
We started talking about his magnificent mustache.
His magnificent mustache.
Oh yes, in the opening
It
of
was like
this
double
movie.
layered. They
how
gave
we-
us his backstory.
Like I was just talking about what we talked about. It's not even like we're just doing it.
This is a reaction to.
We're reacting to our old selves.
Yeah.
I do like when we were talking about the beginning and that like I'm not a big fan of the opening. Like I don't think it was needed to add to his character.
I don't think so either.
I was like, this extra 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
of him being in World War One.
Uh-huh.
Because he
And
got big brains or whatever. He
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
mustache.
but he didn't have a galaxy brain because he didn't save his commander,
Captain.
chief,
Yeah.
Captain, whatever.
master chief, whatever ranking he is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, don't get me started. Anyway, how come the prequel didn't have a backstory of him?
Because they didn't need it.
Well, how
'Cause
come
this-
does this one do?
It didn't need it.
Wait, so is this a sequel then?
Yeah.
So they just added this bullshit backstory for flavor.
I mean,
Or like,
this
just-
backstory exists.
You're like, this is how we're gonna spice up why he has a mustache.
So is
Because
this,
this is the reason why he has a mustache.
so is this backstory spread through the books, or is it like?
it's like
Is it
mentioned.
like
it's,
this?
It's
It's like
mentioned here.
bam.
It's mentioned here and there.
Okay.
It's like hinted at. It's like
his face
when
got
you,
blown
it's
up.
like when you think of like Watson's backstory and stuff like that.
Yeah, where it's just like
it's-
sprinkled
uh-huh.
throughout all the books.
or like Holmes's backstory and stuff. It's
Dude,
like
that's
sprinkled.
83 books.
Oh yeah, because I mentioned how many books there were. What?
Yeah.
No, he just mentioned it right now.
Pulling out of my ass.
Well, I would regret to inform you. Actually, you're not wrong because it's 33 novels and 50 short stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is 83 different crime.
Yeah, good job for knowing that,
Yeah.
Bob. Common knowledge.
Common
We're gonna
knowledge.
do one episode per story, And we turn into a murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
So is this? it's so funny not to. Okay. So this is not like a direct sequel, right? We said
No, it's not.
There was like
There's
5 stories in between.
There's like a couple stories in between.
So is
so
this
I
like
learned-
his
so I learned-
vacation thing though? Is it like he's a vacation on a train, then he's a vacation on a boat?
It's
Is
just,
this
this is
next-
just what happens.
Is
He
this
just-
next one going to be vacation on a plane?
He just happens to be in places.
in a bus.
What is this fucking speed?
Dude, it's one of those English buses with 2 stories, and then he's gonna go like to the driver, like, "Hey, stop the car, lock the doors."
No,
While
I
he's
can tell you how it's
sleeping.
going to work because it's the way it works in every single action movie that involves a vehicle, right? There's going to be a bomb. And one of the people on the bus wired the bomb.
Okay.
And he's going to figure out who it is so that everybody doesn't die.
Wait, so is this a suicide bomber?
Yeah.
Oof.
But he has to do it before the bus gets to a location where the bomb is supposed to go off.
But the bus can't go slower than like 40 miles an hour.
But then he
It's
gets
almost like I heard this before.
but then he's gonna get a note saying like, "You want to play a game?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this
and
movie
he
before.
and he's also John Wick.
Damn, that's a good one.
Or does he have a mustache?
John Wick has a mustache.
Does he? Does.
Not
It's
in that
just
movie,
not
though.
as fabulous.
But not in that movie either. The one I'm referring to.
But are they gonna CG out his mustache for a
While they
backstory?
de-age him.
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
That was so bad.
Where does
I
mouth
love
go?
I love when I pulled it. When I pointed it out, you guys are like, "Oh no!"
Well, I looked at him like, why does he look wrong? And then you're like, his mustache is gone. I'm like, ah, I cannot see it.
Like I didn't notice it too bad. Like it just, it just looked awkward. I'm like, it's not great. But then you had to point it out. I'm like,
It's the mouth, dude. It's like
That's
as good as CG gets, right? As good as we've progressed in recreating faces and deep fakes, the mouth is just something we cannot do well.
Dude, have you seen that Tom Cruise deep fake? That's better than like Halo, right there.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, that's a
we'll
wrong,
talk
it's a
about
wrong
that.
episode.
We'll talk about it at the end, maybe.
But yeah, it was weird. I don't know. Like, I mean, as much as I love anything like the in World War I era, because it's just cool and it was. I mean, it was a fucked up.
Who
war.
was
That's a
the
good
woman
scene.
next to him after he got his face blown up?
His
That was
lover.
it was the chick he mentions later that.
That was his love
That
interest
dies,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
She dies.
Yeah, he says it. You're not paying attention.
I know who she was. Cause they didn't say the name of her.
You don't really have to pay attention to these type of movies. It's just a detective movie. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What are they gonna
It's
show?
remember when he thought the doctor was there the whole time? I remember.
I remember having the whole conversation.
Dude, they don't look the same.
No, you looked down and you looked up and he was there.
You know what this movie tells me? It'd probably be a fun time to have a shit ton of money in the 20s.
Or a really bad time.
Or a really bad time to have a shit ton of money in the 20s.
Could you die because you can get away with murder?
Both.
Yeah, probably both at that time period.
It's funny because this book technically comes out only like a decade after it would take place.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh. Because the book came out in 1937.
So it's a real story.
Sure.
Weird.
Yep, the great detective Hercule Poirot is real.
Can someone in
Josh
the
James
comments
is too.
explain why British people were in Egypt and shit?
Because they owned it.
They owned Egypt.
They owned everything at one point, basically.
Uh-huh.
Oof.
And then
They owned it.
got revolted against
This
slowly.
is why Egypt
Went
was a major
everywhere.
point of contention during World War II.
So they don't speak English in Egypt
Probably not anymore now.
anymore.
It's probably not their main like.
No, it's not their main
dialect or
language since they've been liberated for quite some time. But that was a thing. I mean, this is the era where excavations were at its highest point. I mean, the movie goes to Abu Simbel, right? And it was only excavated probably a few years before this. And there are some discrepancies. I don't believe it's that close to the Nile as they show in the film.
It was like
It's like 2 inches.
he's like it's like
It's like
right
off
next
the boat
to it.
in
Yeah.
the Nile.
Because
if you look to your right,
because when it was found, it was partially buried in a sand dune. It's a little ways away. And it's actually pretty far south.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I don't remember if it made it all the way into Ethiopia, what modern day borders.
Yeah.
But it is pretty far down there along the river, along the Nile. But it's a cool set piece, I guess, right?
It looks nice.
Yeah, and I mean that in that time period, that was always such a big thing, right? This movie takes place like in 24, 25, something like that. It's only like 3 or 4 years after King Tut's tomb was uncovered. This was that time period where England's like, we're going to take all of Egypt's history to go put it in our library, our museums in London.
No,
It's ours now.
It was donated
You see
to
this?
them.
This is ours now.
I am the
We
captain.
found
now.
it.
and I mean, it's the height of that period, right? And so I feel like when Agatha Christie wrote this, it's very much an idea of like, this is a perfect exotic location, much like how the Orient Express is a very exotic, highbrow area.
Oh man, you're telling me books not so far in the future is gonna be all illness related?
That's already kind of
I was
starting.
gonna say,
Oh
yeah.
man.
How many movies have we had in the past of that too?
I mean, it's not like that is not the case in any time that's ever happened, right? You know, it's not like we don't have stories set, you know, during I guess the hit of like the Spanish influenza and stuff like this.
Oh, love all the Cold War era movies or whatever.
I mean, every James Bond movie pretty much up until the 90s probably had, you know,
Something to
those
do with
cold
them.
era vibes, because that's where it's from. It's like you can't watch like an old secret agent movie and not have the villain be Russia.
True.
Right?
Who else could be the villain?
You can't watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. You can't watch Get Smart. You can't watch Mission Impossible from those time periods or Bond.
Kingsman?
Kingsman's after the fact.
that's different.
It's a parody.
Wait, it's not a parody. It's real life.
It's a parody.
Wrong movie. Sorry.
Different movie. But I mean, and that's the thing, right? And I it's cool to see those details and to see like the opulence and just straight extravagance of this time period. And that was always the thing about his novels, I think, or the novels that the character is in, that I feel like is different than other I guess it is the same. It's funny because that's the other thing. When you think of like detective stories as well, sorry, it's just
Like, where are we?
my brain is running through my catalog of everything that I have on the subject at the moment. But the idea that it almost always like exclusively has to do with the nobility
Of
is
course.
interesting.
Do you think
choice.
anyone's gonna care if the lower people die? They're like, they were poor. Who cares? Let's just point a finger at someone. He did it.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, right? If you think about it. Or it's weird, right? I'm thinking of one of Poe's novels. Is just, it's not that it has to do with like necessarily rich people. It's just a very strange case, which also involves like a circus, I believe. So that's another thing. But it is interesting when you either think of like Holmes or Poirot or stuff. It's always at the high end, right?
Yeah. Well, those are always, I'd argue,
Those
probably
are the only one that can afford it.
the crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
Because what you want to hear, it's like, Jim got shot on the street.
Who did it? It was Joe.
Somebody. Who cares?
He had one enemy. He was across the street in the boat hole, same angle. It's like, oh, okay. Great detective work.
And it's funny when you think about it because it's a very different, like, I feel like it's a very different detective story than what you would find in the modern day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a good example of a modern day detective, even though it's been kind of over exaggerated over time, is a character like Batman, right?
He's not a detective. What are you talking about? He just fights the Joker in every film.
But I mean, originally that's like his original purpose and what he does, right? And he's very much like a street level. And if you think about like what we consider and stuff, and everyone's obsession with true crime and the idea of serial killers, it's the modern day obsession with this type of like genre is now at the lower end.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting switch if you think about like the way like these stories have changed.
I also feel like they're not like they're more dramatic.
Yeah.
But the way we live in, we need more action than dramatization.
Yeah.
Would that be the word? But because that's what I feel like. You said Batman.
Yeah.
He is a detective in the newest film.
Yeah.
But he's still kicking ass.
No, of course.
How many times did this guy throw a punch?
He's old, dude.
Yeah, that's the point. It's old detective.
Yeah.
Even if you go through like the old Sherlock Holmes books, he's not really fighting things except for the later
normally.
stuff that
Yeah.
are like magical shit. You're like, where did this come in?
Where is this coming? The stuff not written by Doyle.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess that's true, yeah. And he doesn't really fight. It's
No.
just more of him being, he's using his brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his name comes in and beats the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
I guess I do appreciate in this movie how he walks you through what he's thinking to get to like, oh, I know who did it, and this is why, or whatever, rather than what's the other movie called?
Sherlock Holmes.
No. It has Daniel Craig in it, and
Oh,
he's
Knives Out.
American accent. Knives Out, yeah.
His wonderful Southern accent. That one.
God.
Because I feel like Knives Out was almost just, I would consider it the red herring movie.
Yeah.
Where it shows you what happened, and then it shows you a bunch of just red herrings the whole way through the movie.
It's very exaggerated.
And then it tells you what it was the whole time. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Where this one was like, it throws you clues and red herrings at you at the same
course.
time, and you're like,
And then you're like,
which spot does this
I know
go
who
in?
it is. And then he's like, but wait. Oh,
There's
shit.
more.
Fuck. Who done it?
And I feel like the actors in this movie do like a decent job of doing, because that's always the thing with these movies as well, right? Because it's not just like the physical clues, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always the detective, it's the interviews, right? And the actor kind of has to portray like different things as they're being interviewed, as they're doing the thing. And obviously some of the performances do come off as like, the overly kind of like theatrical kind of idea that you would normally assume with this type of story, right? But at least when you look and you can kind of see, oh, there's something here maybe. It's very good at instilling doubt.
Yeah.
Every time he talks to someone, you're just like, fuck, all of you guys are horrible. You're all horrible people.
you did it, but maybe not, but fuck you anyway.
You're all horrible
They're
people.
like, you could have done it for these reasons, but you didn't do it.
Or
You
didn't.
could have done it, but you didn't.
But you did it.
But you did it.
But you got help. or
by
you
that person.
or you tried, but you failed, and
Yeah.
fuck it, who cares?
And this person knew, but now they're dead. Nah.
this movie, because I'm only kind of judging this off of the other one, the Oriental Express.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie had such a more lead up to even the murder starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very like, here's tons of information
Yeah.
about everyone's
Everyone
story that he's just picking up via just being there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bystander.
And because like when he interviews people, he gets little tidbits, but it's all the information I feel like he's already kind of came, and he just basically he sits down with the guy. He's like, okay,
So
I'm
did
here
you
to
do it or not?
I'm here to interview you. So why did you do this? And he just starts explaining stuff that the person has already done, and they're just like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do it."
I saw you do it. I was there.
It's like, I already heard you. You already told me everything. I'm just here just to talk to you.
I want to hear you say it and see if I can get you to say something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I don't like about this movie, well, I guess the cast, because they have, big stars or whatever in the casting, right? But like I feel like they were just there to kind of just get people to watch the movie because they don't really shine in the movie itself.
Okay.
I can see that.
The only one that shines is the actual detective.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, but they were just kind of there, just kind of like, hey, watch our movie because I'm in it, type of thing.
There's a
Yeah,
little
I can
bit
see
of
that.
There's a little bit of that.
It's like almost was it promotional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we might as well get the big names, but it's a story. You either know it or you don't, and hopefully these names will help us.
Because
out.
you have what's her name? Something Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just pretty just average. She's just pretty meh in the movie.
I mean, I hate to be that person, but I feel like
in every movie.
yeah, I feel like that's the case in
That's different.
most movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta cut this out.
just throwing. I mean,
What are you saying about Wonder Woman 2?
it was fucking horrible.
Damn.
Even my boy the Mandalorian couldn't save that movie.
He couldn't carry it.
See, I mean, I enjoyed Wonder Woman 1.
Wonder Woman
I
1's
hate
good.
the ending of it, but I enjoyed the movie as a whole.
It's a comic book ending.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
It's okay. And I think she was okay. She was fine. But she is very kind of wooden
Yeah.
You said
in her
what he said.
performances.
You just said she's not hot.
I never said this.
I'm not saying anything. She was pretty mediocre in this movie.
I never said this. I just said her acting is wood.
I also don't feel like she was like much in this movie.
No.
It was just like, oh, she's here.
Or like
she's
even
there.
if she well, like when she was, she was kind of like, are you really here though?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's for the case of this movie. It's interesting to see. Like, I feel like all these cases, I feel like the bad guy, so called, is as big brain as the detective. Because if you're gonna kill someone over something like this, would you think about bringing all of your enemies on this boat?
Look,
All of their enemies on this boat.
they had the biggest brain, right? They could have gone away with it if it wasn't for the
For these
right?
meddling kids?
But if
I forgot he was in this movie.
if I'm planning a murder, right, and then casually there's like, oh, there's a famous detective here. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna do my murder. I'm gonna fucking plan it again.
Yeah, but I feel like...
Well, it's funny because they almost planned it in a way where they included him in the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Where they set up red herrings thinking he would find certain things in certain places almost.
Yeah.
To kind of lead him away.
Yeah.
Almost I think what they wanted is they thought this is their thought process, right? I'm going to big brain the detective and I'm going to use him to prove my innocence.
I think this will happen. So they have their plan, right?
Yeah.
But then that one woman was like, I'm gonna invite the detective, and they're like, shit, okay, let's use this to our advantage.
Yeah.
And they kind of changed their plan a little bit, and it backfires.
And then the detective's just like, nah, bitch.
Nah, bitch.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
I said what the villains did in this, the red herrings are really good.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for coming up with that, even if it's on the fly,
Yeah.
that's like big brain shit. You're like, that's smart. Noted. When I kill Bob, I'll invite all his enemies. We'll be there.
Everyone has a reason.
Bob's like, jokes like you, I don't know anybody.
My own animal.
It's just the five of us. It's like, who did it? The dogs.
It was Aki.
It was like, he did it.
He did it.
Put a knife, like tape a knife in his mouth. See,
He
had
did
the knife. The
Look
whole
me with
time.
your dead teddy bear eyes.
I also forgot there's a person in this movie that may or may not be an actual horrible person. So,
Is there one of these on here?
yes.
Really? Like,
Uh-huh.
like in real life?
See, like, horrible actor? Like Jared Leto's not on here.
No. Like they did some really, horrible things.
Just name a name and then
Are they canceled?
They are.
Oh.
Oh. And I remember that was I think a thing when this movie came out.
Well,
And I think they tried to like push it down
of course.
because it came out after all this went through.
Who done it? Who done it?
Well, see, the murder is. Oh.
Because you guys have heard of the allegations for Army Hammer, right?
I don't even know who that is.
There's an actor
Is he
in
the
this
guy
movie.
that does the Hammer Time song?
Yes. Or he may or may not have eaten a few people.
What?
You know what? I would try human. I would. If it was legal, why not?
I don't know. And I remember that's a whole big thing now, and there's a reason I forgot
Ate
that.
human. Like they
not
killed
one,
the human?
Multiple.
Oh, yeah, they killed him and then ate
I don't
him?
know. They don't know. It's not fully.
I think like when you're rich, you can just be like, you just bring me a dead body, and, we'll cook it up here.
I don't know. It was just weird shit.
Carne asada. Ew.
Okay, you know.
Eh.
Good for him, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, I like this movie better than Black. The other
Black,
the other,
Black Butler, yeah. I
Black
agree with
Butler?
that.
let's say Black Knife. Like, that's not the movie.
Black knife. Where did
I
that
don't know
come
what that
from?
is.
I don't know.
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
I do like this one more than Knives Out, personally.
I like the aesthetic of this. I love it.
I did like the idea of. The only thing I'm kind of mad I missed is when did it go from black and white to color? Because I went to grab a drink and I sat down and then the screen had color and I was
So
like,
only
where'd it go?
the flashback was black and white.
Yeah.
No, because it started off in black and white when he sat down to the all the singing and stuff.
No, that was in color still.
It was just dark.
It was just dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because all I know is I walked away and I saw vibrant colors. I was like, what happened?
No, it's still dark when he goes into the bar.
Okay.
There's
saw
color
that,
when
but-
there's color when he goes into the bar.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what sorry. Is what I mean.
I saw it.
Because
I
the
noticed they moved.
because
I didn't see-
the establishing shot of London is in color.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's dark and you just see the yellows of lights.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in color.
Maybe that's why I just didn't notice it, and I was just like, oh, where'd the color come from? Like, did they Wizard of Oz it? Just out of nowhere.
There's
dude.
the scene before everything goes down. I think it's one of my favorites, because that's where they throw me off. I'm just like, there's no way that this scene happens or
The scene
whatever.
while it's going down?
Yeah.
That's a very good scene.
But we can spoil it.
Should we spoil
we can
it?
spoil it at this point.
Yeah,
We're about 30
fuck
minutes
it.
in.
Okay,
Okay, so, I mean...
Spoilers for who
if,
did it.
If you didn't watch this movie.
It was her.
Yes.
Good luck at telling who I pointed at, because I don't even know.
Yeah, my favorite scene is when the one guy, I don't know the name of these
Fine.
people.
Nor do I.
The guy with the mustache. Fuck.
The detective?
No.
The
Is
husband?
the husband?
Oh, okay.
Or the
cannibal.
fiance.
The fiance.
Yeah, the cannibal.
Oh.
of Wonder Woman. So he's all like,
See,
I hate my ex. She's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I never loved you or whatever, right? I thought that was like a really good scene. I was like, there's no way he did it.
You see, you say this, but the whole time I'm like, there's a lot of sexual tension right here. I'm like, he's saying this. His body language. That's not what he's saying.
And it's just like, you don't mean this. I mean it.
He's
And I
like,
was
he's like, fuck you, but he's thrusting just a little.
Yeah.
wait for later. And then shit goes down, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good.
I agree with that.
And that whole like one shot of them coming
yeah.
out where you don't see the beautifulness of the red herring of where it takes you.
Yeah, you don't know where she
In my
went.
mind, I'm like, okay,
Or they
this
went-
person has an alibi. This person has an alibi.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
But even like half the alibis didn't even matter most of the time because it was like red herring alibis almost. It was like
Yeah.
that alibi doesn't mean anything because that person was bad anyway, and they're just covering it up.
Dude, the way he killed her is just like, was he the Flash or some shit?
Oh, when he was just like, ah!
Shoot myself.
Throw the gun. We're good.
God. Like, there's no way that will happen in like, I don't know, what, 3 minutes?
You know what I'm surprised? What I think would have been a bigger brain move. So you know how he throws the gun overboard?
Yeah.
I think if he just left the gun on the deck, it would have been a bigger brain move because then it's like, where'd the gun go? It's just like, oh, it's right here. It has
like-
all the bullets.
Yeah, like, who shot who?
Because he even replaced the bullet
He
that
put
he
a-
shot
yep.
himself with. That's such a big brain move.
Dude, yeah.
And then he threw the gun over, and you're like, oh, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then like he
Because
wrapped it
You
up.
do big
and
brain to blank, to shooting yourself, to replacing the bullet.
to then to wrapping it up in the
That's
scarf.
where he fucked
and then
up.
throwing it
Uh-huh.
over. If he just like threw away the scarves, I don't think anyone would have gone looking for like anything else.
Yeah.
Because they were looking for the gun because it is a very important
Yeah, of
clue.
course. The murder weapon's always important.
Yeah, so that's why I was like in my head, I'm like, oh, you just leave it here and you go, oh, it was here the whole time. She dropped it.
I mean, it would have worked on today's times, but back then,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Well, I guess he did say it might have worked back then because when he said the fingerprints were wiped away,
This
or washed away.
is like the early days
Yeah.
of them doing that. So
But they all would have touched
even
it at some
even
point
if they
anyway.
no, but at the time period that we'll say where this takes
Yeah.
place, even if they understood that everyone's fingerprints are like
Yeah.
unique, there is no such thing as a repository of knowledge of this kind of like a record. And even if there was a record, we'll say in the US, like you would have to manually analyze
You're like,
every single
Let me see your thumbs
fingerprint.
again.
not the same.
And that's why it
Because he said that was
yeah.
possible, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
he said they got
Yeah.
washed away, and I was just like, oh, that's
As I said, like in detective
good
stories, that's
clue.
always been possible for like a certain amount of time, but
Yeah.
it's never been feasible. Even in the modern day, it's still a little
yeah.
it's still a little sketchy,
Oh, yeah.
even with technology.
What I heard about these characters is like, there's one character that knows who done it and doesn't say shit.
Because you don't want to go to jail.
Bro, he died.
He didn't think he was gonna die.
in my mind, I don't know why he didn't say anything in general, because
Yeah.
what I would have done was just like, I don't know, threw the jewel somewhere. Or, hit him and,
Yeah.
and then said, oh, I saw this. And no one's going to fucking care
Like
about
who-
the jewel at that point.
I'm like, did he steal it? I mean, it's still here, so he didn't really steal it, I guess.
Well, he stole it, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he moved it locations to where he could leave with it.
Yeah.
but then he didn't
But he
because
didn't.
shit went down.
Yeah. So he would have been fine.
Yeah, that's why I always said I would have been like, oh, just walking on the deck and oh shit, someone killed someone in front of my eyes.
Yeah. It's more like he stole it. He saw the bullshit and he's like, oh fuck, I have this thing, and he's like, I'm gonna hold on to it because he does.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're gonna search the ship. So he's like, oh fuck. So I'm gonna put it in a spot that takes all suspicion away from me, and then we good, and then we set.
But,
Stupid bitch.
but see, that's all fine to me. That's all fine. But you still say, you know, oh, I was just walking and that bitch over there fucking killed the dude. And then, you know, if they find the jewels later on, you go, oh, crazy. I didn't do it.
I don't know.
He wasn't very
I
smart.
don't think they thought about it.
He wasn't very smart.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a smart cookie.
No.
Dude, they should,
Yeah,
or like when they
small
killed
brain.
the maid. I'm like, dude, they should have gotten rid of her body better.
Dude, when it was in the fucking wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Damn.
thought they did. You know, maybe
Well-
they're like overboard, and then it just so happened to go.
Oh, you go in. Ah, okay.
Dude, that's what I pictured.
They should have waited. They'd been like, I see some hippos over there. Let's go. I see some crocodiles.
Dinner.
It's not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. Right? There's that shot where they show the crocodile eating the bird. I'm like, they're gonna use a fucking crocodile for something. You can't do this to me. I want to see there's not crocodiles
No,
in here.
that
They're
was a
fucking
legit.
vicious.
That was almost a legit red herring. If that was a red herring at 8, it would have been perfect shot.
God.
And I mean, I think it was more just to just establish the theme of like someone's gonna fucking die.
I think it was to establish or to throw shade to the doctor, and like, you're the one that scalpels. So it was obviously you that killed her.
Oh yeah. Well, no, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an easy one though, right?
I
You
do
take
like-
someone else's tool and
Yeah.
I mean,
I do
that's-
like the stupid's like, oh yeah, he obviously had the weapon, so he probably did it. I'm like, nah, that's not how it works. I'm not gonna use my own shit to kill someone.
That's not smart.
Nah, that's small brain. You got small brains here.
Or like the other guy. It's like, I didn't need no gun. I had one, bitch.
At the 45, he's like,
Alibi.
The one thing I thought was weird was so at the end when he's telling like what went down,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, the rock that fell and almost killed them, and I'm like, I forgot all about that scene in general, and I'm like,
Then
yeah,
what the fuck? How you forget about this scene?
because it didn't matter at that point. It was like it was a missed kill, so it was just like useless information. And then he's just like, yeah, you tried to kill him, but it didn't happen. So yeah, man, you know, good try. You get him next time, kid. You're not going to jail.
That's so
I'm like,
weird.
what?
They're like, I didn't mean to. I don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of did it.
I'm like,
But
that
they
is
didn't die,
attempted murder.
so.
It's attempted murder. It should still be like some type of prison sentence.
I don't know, man. This
You
is
guys like, yeah,
this
move on.
is a different time period, dude. I
It
don't know.
was premeditated. He just like, you knew what you were doing. What do you mean?
I don't know if that one's more premeditated.
That one might be
That
more
one
of-
seems more crime of passion than
Yeah,
premeditated.
that's more of seeing red.
Yeah, that's more of I saw an opportunity and I took it.
But
Now-
it's more like I'm
saw
gonna
it
kill
for-
both of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
It's like I love that girl. Oh fuck, I'm taking both. There we
Dude,
go.
okay, imagine you're the one girl with the red dress,
Yeah.
and then they both die on the road. You're like, well, shit.
I don't get the money. My best, the hottest man I've ever wanted to marry, date, live, whatever with.
Yeah.
It's like they both died. What did I win?
Nothing.
That'd have been the
That
best.
would be hilarious.
Best ending.
It was like this guy did the thing, the crime of passion, outbeat your premeditated murder. You ended up
Oh
with
my
shit, and the guy who did the murder ends up with money.
I have.
Yeah, because then you
'Cause
can you prove it could have been an accident because there wasn't a sandstorm right after, so
Yeah.
it could have been just the wind.
That's if they know he did it,
Yeah.
right? And then the money would have gone to the godmother for the most part, but he could have
The
embezzled.
movie would have been basically.
he could have embezzled a part of it, and it still would have been GG, you know?
What's the one YouTube channel that does the how it should have ended?
Oh, when they do the animations? Yeah, I don't remember, but I know
that
what you're
channel.
referring to.
Do it.
Yeah, they might have already.
I have the biggest brain right now. This movie could have ended so early on with her dying. So when with the wife dying,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I thought you were
fiancé.
gonna be like when the detective dying in World War One.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, that movie could have ended right there. No. So when he does the boulder, he pulls her in because they're on a ledge.
Oh,
like,
he could have just been like,
it's like, I'll save you, and push her off and be like, Oh, no. See? Movie
Accident.
could have ended right there, and it was an accidental murder. He would have got the money, and he could have got married, and got away with it.
Because no one could have been like, you push her into the rock. Nah, dude, I didn't even know the rock was.
I didn't see the rock. I hugged the wall, and she fell backwards.
I think the only person who would have known is the cousin, because he would have seen it.
Maybe not. Didn't he just like push the rock and leave because he was like he didn't want to, you know?
Oh yeah, maybe.
If I push the rock, I want to see.
You want?
I don't want to give myself away by looking down.
You want to see the splat, dude. You want to make sure. Double tap. You confirm your kills.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
but if you miss, then it's
Of
like,
course.
who did that? You're like, ah, shit.
Or maybe the
No, I know,
whole
I'm just kidding,
the
I'm just kidding.
guilt of like, oh my god, I did this out of just like anger or whatever. But I saw him push her into it, but I did it, and it's just like I'm not gonna say shit.
No, you know, it's a that case, best case scenario.
scenario.
He would have won all the money and got married to.
And the cousin would have had some money too,
Yeah.
because the cousin could talk to the other guy and be like, okay.
Okay, you know what I did? I know what you did.
I know what you did.
that-
We all know how this ended up. Everyone splits the money.
Handshake deal.
Handshake.
Handshake
No one says shit.
We walk away.
we walk away.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Where's Agatha Christie? I'm gonna yell at her saying, I'm smarter than this
Oh,
guy.
dude, so like if this was a game, there's the true ending,
Yeah.
and there's best ending, and there's worst ending where they both die and no one gets shit.
The money just disappears.
Or did we experience the worst ending? Because there were
Probably
5
is-
people
I'm gonna
died.
say it's probably the worst ending.
This
if
is
you
worst
think about it.
ending.
Because other ending would have been one person dead.
Yeah.
Money everywhere.
Money and love everywhere.
Everyone
Yeah, because
happy.
then Book could have just ended up with the one other bitch and money, the cousin with money, the fiance with money, and his old bitch.
and then fucking what's his name? The guy who gets shot in the neck. Book.
Yeah.
He would have married the singer lady
Uh-huh.
because-
With money.
Yeah, with money.
Yeah. That was true.
That was best
ending. Okay, ending is with the dude and the girl die.
Everything. I love it. Like, point is, Gal Gadot dies. This movie.
I'm sorry,
everyone
Gal, but you're dead. You rolled the wrong gamble. I do like how it started off with like, it's the scene where they're basically just all fucking with clothing on, dancing, and they're like, "Oh, this is whatever her name, Gal Gadot's character.
Yeah.
She has tons of money, and they just entered up a new real estate. Have him work on it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, was it 6 months later? They're married. I remember looking down and I looked up and it was like the two different, like the girl, I'm like, did she change her hair? I'm like, no, that's the other girl.
I think it was 6 weeks.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
matter.
6 weeks.
That's even worse.
It was like it was a different time back then.
Dude, they were fucking, they said they were fucking all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then now they're, now
He's
them
like,
two
"We're
are fucking.
3 times today. I'm like, wow, okay, sir.
Okay. Weird flex, but okay.
I do also, the other crazy thing to me is having the red, I guess the ex-fiance
Yeah.
just following them constantly. Imagine
That
that.
makes so weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you just not?
Dude, could have been better if, she doesn't disclose her identity. Oh, wait, no, but we needed to blame it on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone
Never
had to be
mind.
blamed.
Yeah.
But we might as well go towards the ending of this film. I did like, as everyone does, the ending of
Of course.
him just going, shuts all the doors. Obviously, it can't be any of the maids
Dude,
or
hold up.
stuff.
I imagine all the conversations like with all the crew and the captain, like, hey, I know who did it. We're gonna have this conversation here. When I do the signal, you're
gonna
gonna
shoot it.
lock the door.
I feel like he's like, you know how they normally say, I'm going to shoot, and then we'll lock the door. He's like, I'm going to do a signal. What's the signal? You'll know. Bam! He's like, oh, that's
shit.
the signal.
That's it.
I love the thing you mentioned while we watched. Like, what if it was a crew member?
I picture the crew members are like, yes, I got him.
I mean, a lesser film, right? I feel like a lesser story, because it's not like this hasn't happened before, right? A lesser story would throw all of this at you, and at the end, be
nobody
be like,
knows.
it was none of you. There's this fucker over here that's been like hiding in the shadows of every shot that you couldn't see.
No.
That's been orchestrating all of it.
No, they're in every shot, but it's like just like a picture, just like the top of their head, like they're serving trays, and it's like whoop. It's
You
like
see their elbow.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it was just a serial killer, and they're just doing their thing.
Yeah. But I said I don't know. I think my opinion. I think Oriental Express has probably the best you done it moments of all time. It's like, you know how long this one was? I'd say it's like 5 to 10 minutes, like explaining.
Yeah.
That one's literally like 30 minutes of him just, he's pointing at everyone and telling them like the whole story of their goddamn life, basically. What they did, why they were there at this exact moment.
You did this when you were 5 years old, and from then on, this is what you do.
He just like shits on everybody, and you're like, damn, that's amazing. This one, you're like, it's good still, but it doesn't hit the 30-minute whodunit marker.
Well, it's not like fucking Clue, where the last half of the movie is him running around, going through the entire movie.
He's running through the house. He's like, in this spot, you were over there, but over there. You're like, okay, calm down, my dude.
Tim Curry, I need you to chill, my man.
Best actor.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was a fun mystery movie.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Would I watch it again? Maybe.
I don't know.
If I was showing it to somebody, I'd
Maybe.
watch it.
Yeah.
See, in my mind,
For my own entertainment, I wouldn't watch it again.
I'd watch Clue and I'd watch Oriental Express again. I don't think I'd watch this one or Knives Out.
Black Knife.
Again. Yes, I would watch Black Knife again. Or Ice Knife. I don't like Ice Knife.
Ice Knife's a good spell. What?
But, I don't know, would you rewatch this? Like, yeah, just on
He
your
will
time.
reread it.
That doesn't count.
I'd actually probably go read it. But no, I probably wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah. I said, I think this movie is streamable.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it 7.
I like the throwaway line of the brown man was like, I'm a brown man. The cops are just going to shoot me.
You're like, man, they were racist back then. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
it's always been racist.
Always has been.
I do give it like 7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 7.
Average movie.
It was,
Enjoyable.
yeah, I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it
But
was pretty.
there's another thing that we watched that was also basically
Oh, we're talking
on
about that now.
IMDb a 7, and it had CG in it.
Dude, I don't know how this a show was better than this movie. No way. On IMDb.
I'll Google it one more time
Okay,
to
so
make sure I'm right.
This movie, what's it called? That's on the Nile. Was it 6.6 on IMDb?
Yes,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
That's what it was,
allegedly.
right? Okay, so I was just like a Halo then. Halo.
No, that's what Amazon said. It was.
Well, yeah, but that was IMDb.
Yeah, it was IMDb.
IMDb.
But we watched Halo,
The first episode of Halo.
first episode on Paramount Plus.
Sure.
Woof.
Oof, indeed.
It's a rough watch.
So right now on IMDb, there's 6,600 views.
Okay.
It has a 7.0.
Shut the fuck up.
What the fuck?
Disgusting.
I'll double check
Gross.
this movie. I keep on saying that.
I hope it's higher.
It's not.
Bro, the CG in this movie was.
The one scene, well, a couple scenes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.6 with 31,000 though. So you're 5 times almost the viewership.
I feel like we're not going to see like the majority of actual Halo reviews until we get into
The end.
the end. Yeah.
Because it just came out this week,
Oh, there was
right?
a Death on the Nile from 78.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it.
I didn't know that.
Different ending,
It's
right?
7.3 out of 10.
So that one's better?
Yes. The old ones normally are.
Bet.
They tell me they don't make mystery movies like they used to.
Too much budget. Not enough.
Too much budget.
One train.
Have you heard of the? It's called the Oxford Murders. It has Elijah Wood in it.
Yes.
Kind of like that movie.
Okay.
And then I found out it was shit. And I found out I had shit taste. But I was 16 when I watched it. I mean, get off my back.
It's okay. Like I watched The Curse, which is like a really good B movie. I consider it. It's like a 6. I'm like, that was a good 8. I thought.
I mean,
For a B movie, that's pretty good.
what's the one I liked? I liked a movie called The Ninth Gate
Okay.
with Johnny Depp.
Oh.
No, I
It's
think
gonna
I've
be
heard
like
of
a martial arts movie.
No, it's done by the dude that can't come back to the U.S. because he's kind of a pedo.
Yeah. Was that just like you're like it's a good movie, but it's like rated like a 2?
I mean, it's an okay movie. It's like there's parts of it that I like, and with the story of it, it just scratches itches that I have for stuff. But it's not great. It's not a great movie.
Like, it's a 7, and they're like 2.
It's not. I don't think it's that low.
No,
but it's not great.
Yeah, but I feel like we all have. I did write down that we should do a 6x6 on
A 6x6.
Sorry,
36 things.
we're doing 36 films of hot takes, like movies that we think are either way better than people think, or we think that movies are just straight ass
Yeah,
that
I could
people love.
easily do a 3x3 of
Movies. you think is
overrated movies.
Could you do it the other way?
On
Could you
the
do
underrated, I don't know.
I feel like I could do underrated.
You do
pretty
underrated.
easily. I've seen enough
Negative is
decent
always
movies that are
easier.
that are probably lower than they should be.
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid's a way underrated.
Underrated.
movie.
But I think I don't think it's so much as underrated as much as it's just an indie film.
Unseen.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might be my thing. It's like I've seen so many indie films at this point. I'm like,
It's a niche indie film too, because it's like you like outrun stuff. Yes.
You like Hobo with a shotgun?
Yeah, you like Hobo with a shotgun.
the
You
same
like
movie.
you like retro stuff. You like gore. This is your movie.
but you have to like all that. If you don't, you won't like this movie.
Yeah, basically.
3x3. The Fast and the Furious series.
There's only one movie that's good.
I don't think they're like
2 movies.
overrated. I don't. Well, they're not. They're definitely not underrated. But
The last, I want to say 4.
I wouldn't say they're over. I
Overrated.
wouldn't say they're
I
overrated.
think they're overrated.
No, in the sense that, like, who gives them that much clout? Because for
There's
some
people at work that we talk about, they're like, dude, I went to go see Fast 10 like 4 times. It's the best movie of all time. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, it's like a 6 maximum.
I do it for the family.
I don't know,
We do
man.
have one of our saviors on those movies, so we gotta be careful. The
Oh,
voiceover.
that's right.
The family.
He's like thinking about it. He's like, when was Nick Cage in this?
No, one of the saviors, not the savior.
He's thinking of Gone in 60 Seconds. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we could also, if we really wanted to hate life, the Transformer films.
Are those overrated?
No,
They're just bad.
Yeah, no, you can rate your top 3 or top 9.
Poof.
There's only, I don't even think there's 9 of them.
The
There's
Harry
not?
Potter series. There's
There's
9
definitely-
films, right?
Yes, there is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Third one's pretty
The
good.
third one is pretty good.
Anyway, back to
Rep my boy Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
anyway, back to the important show. What did you guys think of the Halo stuff?
Fuck it.
I hated it.
I'm so
Like,
happy.
thanks, I hated it.
Dude, I
hated
sat down and watched the first episode. I'm like, this is straight trash. I know what I'm doing. So hey guys, we're gonna watch episode 1.
Motherfucker just made me just watch it. I'm just like, it may be good. And then as soon as the CG showed, I'm like, bro.
You see, I can, okay. I can get past that to a certain degree, right?
You know what I can't get past? Seeing Master Chief's face in the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yep. Like I said, I can get past the CG because I understand. I don't know what the budget of the show was. Right? I don't know.
Paramount Plus. I'm sure they have money.
I don't know. Right? But it's a TV show, right? So
Yeah.
we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, right?
Okay.
And I can get past the CG because I understand they were probably gonna do a shitty job with the CG on the aliens anyway, because that's just what this is. The CG on the Spartans though was a little bit more egregious.
Dude, the jump where he lands,
Yeah.
you're like, what, he jumped 2 inches, but he had to make it seem like he jumped 10 feet?
It's a little bit more egregious, but I still I can deal with it,
I
right?
don't know, dude. They CG for the assault rifles?
Yeah, that was pretty.
That
that was when it hit the floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's in a natural shadow. The dust didn't move. It just kind of like flat footed out there, and I'm just like, I mean, come on. I've seen YouTubers who've done better CG than this.
We're like, it's our first episode. I didn't think anyone was going to watch it.
Sure, they're professionals, right? But you know,
The fireball looked like ass, and the fireball grenades that everyone uses.
That's right.
The fucking what else was shit about this?
I hate Master Chief's voice.
I'm like, you couldn't just at least hire like a the voice actor for Master Chief, and then
and then never show his face.
That's a brilliant idea. We got the same brain cell, I guess.
Brain cell.
Because that's just who he is.
It's just I just don't know whether they're like I'm gonna take off my helmet so I can be more, I guess, personal with this person.
With this random person. It's not even like
this random person is the worst character in the fucking first episode.
It makes no sense. So she's like. She gets saved by the Spartans or the UNSC, and they're like, okay, so it'd be really cool if you just, said that you were saved by us, and that'd be really cool. It'd help us out. And she's like, that's a good idea. And then I'll tell them that you sent all these people to kill us. I'm like, they saved your ass.
They should have just left you to die. You ungrateful person.
Bam, let's move on. Throw the body out the fucking hatch.
I did hate that shit. It was like, oh my God, you saved me, but now you're going to leave me? And then they capture him like, I hate you. You killed my mom. Whoa.
Like, should have just left you.
You just left her ass.
Ungrateful.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. I'm just like, come on. I'm like, because as like you brought up, they almost felt like they were going for like the Mandalorian vibe, where it's like, let's show his face and cool. Look, we got a side character who's shitty.
Like they're trying to go for the Mandalorian vibe. You have, Master Chief. You have the shitty Grogu.
Yeah. Like if I wanted a weird side story of just people, like even just with Master Chief, I'd rather just have the fucking other Spartans and Master Chief going around just killing things in shitty CGI view.
I don't understand, because I feel like modern day television and stuff wants to take these properties and be like, oh, we're gonna make them, I don't know, fucking personable or dramatic or some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the toxicity in some of these things, right? Which I can understand, but I feel like it is very much the wrong way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Halo was never meant for that.
Yeah.
Halo's simple. It's a simple premise. There's aliens. They want to kill people. I'm a super soldier. It's almost as if you wanted to do a Doom movie.
Yeah.
And you want to make the demons relatable. Mm-hmm. No, they just want to cause mass suffering and destruction. That is their purpose. That is what they are. You don't personalize the Doom guy. The Doom guy just kills demons. There's the same thing with Master Chief.
And sometimes he picks up something funny, and then you're like, haha, he has a bobblehead of himself. And he
feel like the way the games humanize them is this interaction with Cortana.
And that's the greatness of it.
And that would work great, but no, they're like, we're going to replace Cortana and we're going to put this shitty character.
Well, she's in the show at some point.
Because he saw the trailer, I haven't. So
yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, so we're just not having Cortana.
No, she's in the show at some point.
Yeah. They mentioned her in this episode, and they're like, fuck Cortana.
No. Also, the military makes no sense in this. It'd be like our military saying, like we have these god tier fucking soldiers that are like the best of the best, killing everything in their path. And it's like, fuck these guys. We're gonna send 100 Marines to go die to kill one elite.
I feel like
that's exactly what
because I feel like
would do.
I feel like the issue with the show too is I can understand not wanting to glorify military violence, right? I can understand that thought process and to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I feel like this show takes like the thing of Halo and tries to go the hard other direction, where they're like, oh, you play the games and everyone, well, technically, military's the good guys, right?
Yeah.
I guess, fighting the aliens, right? But this is more of like, no, the military's bad. It's just bad. It's just evil. Yeah. It's all evil. They're all horrible. They're all evil people that do evil things, which, they're capable of such things. And it's not like these things don't happen, right? And even within the Halo universe, it's not like that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's so weird to go so far in that direction.
I feel like they yanked it so far left from what it normally is. Because, like, when you play Halo 2 or Halo 3, fucking Master Chief lands and all the fucking soldiers are like, oh, we're saved. We're not going to get we're not fodder anymore. Thank God.
Yeah.
In this one, they're like, fuck those Spartans. They're stealing my job.
You get this fucking hillbilly fucking village or whatever. And we're like, what?
Well, I mean, that stuff like that has existed within the Halo.
Really?
I mean, it is in the novels and stuff, and even when you read like Fall of Reach and all those things, it does mention what their original purpose was for, and it was for peacekeeping.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's all good, right? But it's like it's really weird to go into like that's the direction you wanted to take this series, right? Of everything everything else that Halo is, right? It's just like this is where you wanted to hyper focus because it's what's in, it's what's in vogue, right? Of wanting to do in a story, and it loses so much of what makes these characters great and what they are. Master Chief isn't humanized by another human; he's humanized by a machine.
Yeah.
Like he is, and there's a beautiful poetry to that, in the essence that like he finds his humanity in this companion that's always with him in his head, that goes through him with everything because no one else understands fully what he is. Doesn't need to be another person. It doesn't have to.
But why
Cortana's a perfect character. Just let it be Cortana. She's built for it.
She's built for tough.
Hated it. And then you're like, just gonna introduce this random artifact. Master Chief's gonna touch it, and then like, surprise, he gets memories. What?
That doesn't even happen until later on.
Well,
in the game.
no, because even in the games, he always has them. It's not like they're repressed. Because you read Fall of Reach,
true.
He knows his backstory. He knows where he comes from.
Technically, before that, so maybe they're like, let's get his backstory in before all the games really happened.
Well, but like I said, this isn't the first novel ever written, right? This is like the introduction of Master Chief's in Fall of Reach, right? I mean, he knows this already. There's no amnesia. There's no military brainwashing. I mean, there is because.
That's what
that's the whole point of the program, right? But it's not the same as you forgot who you were.
Yeah.
It's you were taken, you went through what Spartans went through, like
you went through hell
a couple thousand years ago, right? It's the same process. That's why they're called Spartans. Yep. Is it great? No. Is it?
I don't know. It was pretty good.
I mean,
you see how bad they kill those dudes?
Is it questionable? Sure, right?
Did he get results though?
We're going back to Nazi times.
I know, right? No. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like weird where they hyper focus things.
Yes.
And I mean, when I think of Halo, right? I just want a dude finding his humanity, killing aliens, man.
I can't wait for the new Doom game where he's fighting on Earth and humanity is still there and he's talking to his friends. He'll take his helmet off at some point.
Oh no.
He'll be like, yes, what I've always wanted from my action hero that blows shit up.
Because like sometimes, I mean, I feel like this is a modern day issue. It's like as much as I'm a person that enjoys like nuanced stories every so often, I mean, every once in a blue moon, there's some things I just want to see shit get blown up, man.
Why do you think Michael Bay is still allowed to make movies?
Michael Bay should have done Halo.
The explosion scenes might have been way better. But imagine him coming down out of the spaceship and like,
is it great? Is it sometimes horrible? Sure. But I mean, I
at least you know what you're there for.
I love Halo, but it's not like it's highbrow either, you know?
No,
Yeah.
It's aliens versus humans, and then it's humans and aliens together fighting more aliens, and then aliens fighting more aliens.
Okay, because maybe bullshit, but when they land on the fucking random village, they have AK-47s, right?
Sure.
And I'm assuming those AK-47s shoot the same rounds as whatever the Spartans are shooting.
I don't think
probably not. Because I pictured basically they got guns, and the military got like kinetic rifles that probably shoot like probably have a different type of system
like
of
that.
rounds.
I think it even says like the pistols they're like it's heavy duty like rounds.
Yeah.
So
I know the
like,
military can still shoot them.
They're like machine gun bullets, but in a pistol.
Yeah.
Because he picked up the machine gun or whatever,
the turret,
and then he killed the elites. So I'm just like, they must do a good amount of damage with the fucking shitty pistol that they have too.
It's probably like the similar round, except just
I don't know, man. This is before Halo 1. The pistol in fucking Halo 1 was OP, dude.
and then they nerfed it.
They nerfed it.
Dude, the pistol in Infinity is pretty OP.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice.
But yeah, I don't want to shit on this show anymore. I'll probably end up watching all of it.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then
see where it goes.
We can probably
the
all
other
shit
thing,
on it.
The other thing. Why the fuck is there a human in the Covenant?
Yeah. I was gonna bring it up later, but that's fine. It makes sense.
Right.
If you read book 17 of the
No,
pre-fall,
I don't even think there's that anywhere. That's nowhere.
It's in the newer books, my dude. I'm telling you.
If you know, and if it is, put it down below.
Why is there a human in the Covenant?
Anyway, Death of Nile is a pretty good movie. I'd probably skip Halo for now. Maybe see where it goes.
Dude, okay, let's say they do show Master Chief's face, right?
Very good.
I would have preferred you show the back of his head, and then she's like, "Oh, no, I can see him," and that's all you
And
leave
then he
it
puts
to.
it back
and puts
on.
it back on. But no, I'm gonna leave it off for the next 20 minutes.
He kept it off
But
so
the actor wants his 5 minutes of fame.
He has his voice.
he took it off so the whole time, so in case he flips out, he can shoot him because the bullet, as he said, what are you going to do with those bullets? It's just going to bounce off me. He was like, fuck you. And I was like, put the helmet on. I'm sorry, Mr. Actor.
Nothing against you.
Keep the helmet on.
You're not my chief.
learn from my boy Pedro Pascal. The helmet was always on.
He took it off
until
and
the
you're
very
like,
end.
You're like, I like that guy.
It
And then
took
he put it
like,
back on.
20 episodes?
Yeah.
This took about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, whatever.
Relatively, Anyway, garbage.
Anyway, please tell us what you think of the new Halo show and Death on the Nile.
And this movie.
Way better. Can't believe this is lower. Tilted.
God.
Shame.
Anyway.
Shame on you people.
Anyway, buy our stickers in the description. We're on YouTube if you want to see our faces. We're on all the podcast services if you don't want to see our faces. And,
Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Or,
Tell us if there's a good movie coming out because I think we're hitting a part where, we're going to be not dry at this point.
Yeah, we're going to be a little swamped.
Tell us if you want us to talk about anime, movies, both.
Hentai.
Fuck, I'll watch it for, science.
Why'd you look at your head? Why'd you look at your
head?
head?
Don't make it sound like you don't already look at it.
I like how he looked at his hand too. He's like science. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.